Listen, do you hear that? That sound, it's not just a car. It's a promise, a memory, a father's grief turned into thunder. This isn't a story of victory, not really. This is a story of loss, of grief, and of a father who turned his pain into the most beautiful machines the world has ever seen. Enzo Ferrari was born in Modena, Italy in 1898. The second son of a metalworker, a boy who dreamed of speed. At age 10, his father took him to watch a motor race in Bologna. He witnessed Felice Nazzaro cross the finish line in triumph. The roar of engines, the smell of burning rubber, the taste of victory in the air. At that moment, young Enzo knew this was his destiny. But destiny has a cruel sense of timing. 1916. A deadly influenza epidemic swept through Europe like a silent assassin. Within weeks, both his father and his older brother were dead. Enzo was 18 years old. The family business collapsed. Everything he'd known, gone. He enlisted in the Italian army, shoeing mules for the Alpine Artillery Division. Then, the same illness that killed his family found him. He nearly died. Discharged from the army, critically ill, barely alive. Standing at the edge of death changes a man. Makes him understand something essential. Time is the only thing we cannot buy back. And Enzo Ferrari would spend the rest of his life racing against it. 1920. Ferrari joined Alfa Romeo as a racing driver. He was good. Not great, but good. In 1923, he won his first major race. By 1924, he had claimed several more victories. But something inside him had changed. After witnessing the deaths of fellow drivers Ugo Sivocci in 1923 and Antonio Ascari in 1925, Ferrari realized something profound. He loved racing, but he loved living more. His true genius wasn't behind the wheel. It was in understanding what made the perfect machine, what made the perfect team. In 1929, he formed Scuderia Ferrari, a racing division for Alfa Romeo. He recruited superstar drivers, built legendary cars, won race after race. And then, January 1932, everything changed. His wife Laura gave birth to a son, Alfredo Ferrari, nicknamed Dino. Enzo made a promise to himself. If he ever had a son, he would retire from racing. He kept that promise. He quit driving that same year. Now, he would build cars, build an empire, and most importantly, build a legacy for Dino. Enzo groomed young Dino from the earliest age. The boy spent hours in the garages beneath their home, learned to understand engines before he learned to read music. Dino wasn't just his father's son, he was his father's successor, his purpose, his reason for building. He earned his engineering diploma. Unlike his father, he learned to speak English. He was everything Enzo had dreamed: intelligent, passionate, devoted to the craft. In 1955, Dino, now 23 and working at Ferrari, suggested something revolutionary: a 1.5-liter V6 engine for Formula 2 racing. His father listened. They began development together, father and son, side by side, creating the future. But Dino began to move strangely. His balance faltered. His body betrayed him. The diagnosis was devastating: a severe form of muscular dystrophy. Progressive, incurable. a slow, unavoidable end. Enzo refused to accept it. He was an engineer. Everything could be fixed. Everything could be solved. He kept meticulous records: calories, blood chemistry, vital signs. He treated his dying son like a race car, believing the right adjustments would fix him. But some things cannot be engineered. Some races cannot be won. Dino lay in a hospital bed in Modena, barely able to move. His body was failing, but his mind remained sharp, obsessed with the V6 engine they had designed together. In his final days, Enzo sat beside him, the great engineer who could fix anything, powerless to save the one thing that mattered most.
Papa, the V6. Promise me you'll finish it. Promise me it will race.
I promise. Your engine will roar on every track in Europe. The world will know your name.
On June 30th, 1956, Alfredo Dino Ferrari died. He was 24 years old. Enzo Ferrari's world shattered. May 11th, 1957, the Mille Miglia, 1,000 miles of open Italian roads, the most dangerous race on Earth. Ferrari entered 4 cars. Among his drivers, Alfonso de Portago. For 11 hours, Ferrari dominated. Then, with less than 40 miles remaining, in the town of Guidizzolo, de Portago's front tire exploded at nearly 150 miles per hour. The Ferrari spun violently, struck a telephone pole, launched into the crowd. Alfonso de Portago was killed instantly. His co-driver died beside him. 9 spectators were dead. 5 of them were children. Italy erupted in outrage. Enzo Ferrari was portrayed as a man who built beauty at the cost of blood. The government banned all racing on public roads. The Mille Miglia ended forever. Ferrari was charged with manslaughter, 11 counts. Years later, investigators determined the tire failure was caused by a sharp roadside marker, not negligence. In 1957, Enzo named a new series of racing cars after his son, Dino. The V6 engine Dino helped design powered race cars and sports cars for decades. Throughout the early 1960s, Ferrari dominated endurance racing, including multiple victories at Le Mans. The prancing horse became the most feared symbol in motorsport. Yet Enzo never escaped his grief. Enzo Ferrari died on August 14, 1988, at age 90. He never conquered death, but he defied it by building machines so beautiful, so perfect, that they would outlive him. Every engine roar carried the echo of a promise. That was the story of Ferrari. Not a story of victory, but of loss, transformed into legend. Subscribe for the next untold story. This is Timeless Tales.